going down a few weight classes here. In the 65 kilogram division, representing Belarus with the white pieces in the white corner. Put your hands together for Dzmitry Yermakovich.
From Belarus.
Undefeated world champion defending his title against, in the black corner with the black pieces, representing India, Mohit Mandal.
Well, the main thing is...
And we are underway. We have an E4 opening met with D5. We have a trade, and the queen is all out on the board. That knight on C3 is going to push the queen back.
So we have a Scandinavian defense.
And a very, very fast opening, reminiscent of the last match, moving lightning fast.
They both know what they're doing. And bishop d2, that's to get out the pin. The queen immediately goes back to c7. And firing out their moves.
Nice pin, the light square bishop for black, pinning the f3 knight to the queen.
So in this type of position, typically white is always going to be a little bit better because of more space. That pawn on d4 is the holder of the space. And so the c6 and e5 pawns, that's typically what we're going to call like a pawn lever. He's going to try and maybe exchange one of those pawns against the d4 pawn to get rid of the space advantage. Once there's no more pawns in the center, black has equalized. But for the moment...
Black gearing up a battery. The queen and the bishop. Go on, sorry.
Queen d2. Well, this is... now this is giving the bishop pair. It's not my favorite. Sometimes black runs out of moves, and he just thinks, well, I'll do that. But now, one move later, and what have you gained by that? White can now just... if he wants exchange queens, go to an endgame, right? He can, with accumulated with the space advantage, have an easier time for an attack. He can maneuver his pieces much easier. So black is not, lost in any kind of way here, of course. But he now, if he does open up the position, if he goes for that pawn lever, it's opening it up and the bishop pair becomes alive. So it's, it's much more difficult to wrap your head around finding a coherent strategy for black.
The longer the game goes on, the more of an advantage that bishop pair is, and the more open the position, the more pawns that come off the board, pieces in general. The bishop can control, both bishops can control more squares and start to expand that advantage for white.
One thing we don't say enough about the bishop pair is, obviously when you have a bishop pair, it means that the other one doesn't. If you both have a bishop pair, we don't talk about the bishop pair in that case. But it's that the other bishop becomes slightly weakened by the fact that his... so a lot of things are happening.
Up a piece now.
Which might have more priority than what I'm saying. There's a lot of tactics in the air.
10 seconds left. Have to respond to this check. He takes
so he's taking the knight, and now the rooks are exchanging.
And there's the bell.
I think it's very good that he stopped on this move and he doesn't get to play another move. He's going to have a little bit of a think to see what's going to be happening here.
Very exciting position to end in, and I love coming back to these positions after a boxing round. Once there's fatigue, once maybe a few shots are landed, coming back and having to assess a position like that is a completely different ballgame because you're at your worst decision-making potential right after a boxing round in your first chess move. So when there's an exciting position with multiple pieces hanging that requires a little bit of calculation, some interesting things can happen.
Well, I think a lot of a lot of people don't realize, because they've never done it, it's not so much about the blows to the head, because that's the famous thing. How do you think after the blows to the head? It really is more about the cardio. And when you've just got back to the board, you're kind of puffed out, and your decision making is going to be it's just going to be lazy. It's like, oh, I'll do that, and I'll find out later. And you have a tendency to do that in chess anyway, but you're supposed to catch yourself doing it. Whereas here, like, your guard is down, and you're going to do it anyway.
All right, seconds out from India versus Belarus. With the white gloves, we have Belarus jumping up and down, getting warm. India, slightly longer fighter, maybe a slight reach advantage. Gloves touch, the Iranian referee overseeing the action again, signaling the judges they are ready. And Joseph hits the bell. We are underway. Jab is slipped by Belarus. The second one lands for India. Ooh, watching that right hand come down as the Indian jabs. Might be something to look out for. Good target for that lead hook. Oh, jab to the body, right lands upstairs. Big right hand lands on India. Signal to keep the head up.
I love his body movement, like he's going down very low and coming back up with leverage.
Nice jab lands for Belarus, and then right hand over the top, left hand lands, snapping the head back of India.
And keeping up that pressure too.
And there's the first stoppage of the round. Scoring one stoppage is Belarus. And we are back underway.
Ideally, Dzmitry would love another one of those.
Good step back from India, avoiding the powerful punch, but there's a right hand landing on the chin. Belarus coming in for the kill. Another right hand goes just wide. India fighting back, now having Belarus up against the ropes, landing a few punches of his own. Another right hand lands on the temple of India. Signal to keep his head up. Right hand lands, left hand lands. Belarus now with India on the ropes. Right hand's coming through, not much defense from India. Another right hand. India's chin holding up so far, although big shots landing. And the second stoppage of the round, sending India back into the ropes, getting a standing 8 count.
And he doesn't
Slightly
seem to be
dizzied, but not giving up. His hands are up. He's ready to continue.
He's not arguing the fact either, though, is he? Ooh,
another left hand lands.
Lovely stick.
Belarus coming in. Nice jab lands. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the third stoppage of the round.
He needed that.
In chess boxing means that this fight is over. There we go. Belarus with a TKO in the first boxing round, second round of the match. Big, strong shots landing. India keeping his feet, but sustaining 3 stoppages, which means that in the white corner with the white gloves, winning by TKO in the second round is Belarus, Dzmitry Yermakovich.